Lightning, 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 lightning. Oh, didn't see you there. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the first video of Okami Archives. Thanks for being here. This channel just starting out. Gonna be talking about some comic book stuff. We're gonna have some card openings, movie reviews, yada yada, the whole spiel. Maybe even talk about some alien stuff. But we're gonna be getting better as the time goes on. We learning. So if you end up liking this video, please leave a comment, a like, maybe share, maybe subscribe. I don't know. Do what you want. Today we're going to be talking about Absolute Cinema. I got volume 1's of the Holy Trinity of the Absolute line. We got Wonder Woman, Superman, Batman. You know them. And I'm kind of going to review them a little bit, talk about them. Then at the end, I'm going to rank them against each other, which one I like the most, which one I like the least out of the three. And we're going to go from there. All right, so let's get into it. So these are the Holy Trinity, I like to call them. A lot of people call them that. Volume 1's, which cover issues 1 through 6, which is basically the first arc. I'm just going to go ahead and spoil it right now. Loved them. Loved all of them. They're really good. I'm more of a Marvel guy.
Boo this man!
So, with the exception of Batman, of course. Batman, I love Batman. But mostly a Marvel guy. But I really did enjoy these renditions of the heroes that we've come to know and love. So yeah, we're going to talk about them, and then I'm going to rank them, as I said. So let's get into the first one. Absolute Wonder Woman, Volume 1, The Last Amazon. Great, just great. Kelly Thompson's the writer. She does a great job. Story hooked me in. And to be honest with you, not really a big Wonder Woman fan. I do respect her as being the face of the female superhero, but never really got into Wonder Woman lore or anything like that. But the story in here really hooked me in. You got Hayden Sherman. Is the artist, which I guess a lot of people are kind of mixed on the art in this. I personally enjoyed it. It was very different, and but the portrayals of the characters and the world and the setting and all that, I think it really fit. When it gets to issue 6, Mattia de Lulis, which I hope I'm pronouncing that right, takes over as the artist, and man, was that art even... It might have been better, but I loved both renditions that both artists did. I always thought that Wonder Woman is the best when she's portrayed as this, like, just buff, no nonsense warrior. And they do that in this. They do it, but even on top of that, not only do they show her strength, but they show her compassion, which is the most important part. Her compassion for others weaker than herself is, it hits you in the feels. Some part, the sacrifices that she makes for some people, you just really are, wow, Wonder Woman is she's that chick. In this one, the Absolute Universe, this takes place in a separate universe from the regular continuity. It's a universe created by Darkseid. So everything's a little bit darker. Things have changed in Origins. In this one, Diana, instead of being raised on Themyscira with the other Amazons, she actually is raised in hell by Cersei, I believe is how you pronounce it. Who's in hell, who's like this witch. So they incorporate magic a lot into Wonder Woman's kit in this, which I really enjoyed. Like it's very magic heavy, down to her weapons. She's throwing out spells, like all this crazy stuff. It's great. Um, Speaking of magical weapons, her lasso of truth. The different take on it is that instead of the lasso of truth, they call it the nemesis lasso. And instead of it compelling its victim to tell the truth, it actually binds and burns its victim in proportion to their sins. I mean, like, come on, if that's not metal enough for you, I don't know what else could be. That is like the most badass thing ever. Um, I really enjoyed this story. Really enjoyed it. Top of the pack for me. Not to give anything away. Just really good. Can't wait to see where it goes. I think they're like on issue like 12 now, but I'm only going by the volumes, so I've only read up until 6. Can't wait to see where this goes from there. Um, with that, we're gonna move on to the next one, which is gonna be Absolute Superman, Volume 1, The Last Dust of Krypton, written by Jason Aaron, legendary writer. Um, you know, does a great job with a retelling of this origin, and the changes that he made to the story. Rafa Sandoval is the artist. Love the art. Like, I love the depiction of Superman in this. How like badass he is. I know I keep saying that word, but that's like the word of the day for the Absolute line. Um, they rework his suit. He has like these lava flame like gauntlets and boots. So cool. The longer hair is cool. But the main thing that they changed and added to this story, which I thought was just genius, was he has a cape that is made out of what they call krypton dust, and it's these red particles that form a cape behind him, but it's actually AI. So Superman is talking to his cape. The cape can do things for him. It can assess battles for him. And to go and take the iconic red cape, everyone knows Superman's red cape. I mean, it's one of the most iconic symbols in superhero mythos. To make the cape its own character, that is genius right there. That is pure genius. Thoroughly enjoyed it. In this origin, Kal-El doesn't come to Earth as a baby. He actually comes to Earth already as a teenager. He's already experienced Krypton. He knows all about Krypton. Um, and he's not raised by the Kents in this. He does meet them and they do help him, but he is not raised by them. So it kind of takes that aspect of Superman learning to love humanity because he grew up with it, and it turns it around to where he just is naturally a good person and he takes it upon himself to help humanity without having to be taught or shown or preached to or anything. He just does it on his own. He stays in the shadows and goes around the world helping people in need, which I really loved. If you like Dragon Ball, then you know that Goku changes the life trajectory of everyone that he meets. He changes them for the better through inspiration. They get inspired by Goku to become better person, and that's exactly what Superman does. He does it in this story seamlessly. You see multiple characters get their points of view, whole life views change just by meeting and seeing Superman and what he's doing, and that was pretty great. I thought. I think out of the big three, Superman is probably the most slept on of the three, but I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed this edition, and I'm not even that big of a Superman fan. I think Superman's like a little boring, even though that um, I can admit that he is the poster child of superheroes. He's the number one superhero. Some would say the first superhero. Um, but some of his stories are a little. When you have someone that can do everything, it's kind of hard to tell stories sometimes about him. But this one, the struggle, and the way that his origin has changed, I think really helped out. Um, you know, give you that different perspective on Superman and who he is and why he does what he does. So I really enjoyed that one. Next up is gonna be the Big Daddy. The Big Daddy. Sorry for the crinkling. I got this all wrapped up here. Um, Absolute Batman. The Zoo. Um, so Absolute Batman, man, they really hit it out of the park with this one. You got Scott Snyder on the story, legendary Batman writer. I mean, for the last decade, he's given us some of the most iconic Batman stories that we've ever had. You got Nick Dragotta as the artist, and I really enjoyed his art that he did in this one. I've seen some people kind of downplay the art, not really into it, but I love it, man. The exaggerated versions of the characters are so good in a Batman story. I mean, Batman is like as big as the damn Hulk, and it kind of gives that like Frank Miller, Dark Knight Returns vibe, and you just can't beat a brick shit house built Batman. Like, dude is peak humanity, like peak what a human could be. So good. Uh, but yeah, the art is unique, exaggerated. In this story, this origin, Bruce is actually not born rich, which is something new that we've, you know, maybe a lot of nerds have always discussed and theory crafted about. What if Bruce Wayne didn't have money and all that? They go that route in this one. Bruce works blue collar jobs all around the city, which they incorporate into the story because he has worked all these jobs. He's in like sanitation, construction, in the subways and the sewers. Um, he knows the city in and out, and you learn throughout these jobs that he's placed equipment of his all around the city, so that he has these like pockets in the city of where he can get his bat equipment and all that. He doesn't really have a bat cave per se, um, but it's a great perspective on it. But the number one thing about Absolute Batman, and one could argue it's always been a Batman thing, is the Rogues Gallery. Like, no one has a better Rogues Gallery than Batman, except for maybe Spider-Man would be in like contention for that. But the main thing about this is getting an intro to all the characters that we know and love from the original Batman lore, and seeing how they pop up into the story and become the people that we know that we're familiar with. In this one, they turn it on its head a bit, and Batman's Rogues Gallery are literally his childhood friends. So you got Penguin, Riddler, Two Face. They've all been friends since they were kids, and you get to slowly see some of them change. And I'm pretty sure, a lot of this happens after Volume 6, or sorry, Issue 6. But in Volume 1, it only goes up to Issue 6, so you do see some, but it doesn't give away everything yet. But just the kind of like mystery and thrill of seeing how these characters are going to develop later in the story is like driving force enough to read this book. Um, Man, like Absolute Batman just gives no F's. He gives no F's. Dude is like locked in. Uh, it has everything you want from Batman story: dark, violent, um, and I just got to say that like I was very impressed. I didn't want to believe the hype at first, but man, the hype on this is it's justified for sure. Um, so yeah, that's the Absolute Trinity. If you were waiting on, I don't know what you would be waiting on to jump onto this hype train, but if you haven't already, I think you should. And not just Absolute Batman, but all three of the Trinity. There is more Absolute stories too. You got Absolute Flash, Absolute Martian Manhunter, and Absolute Green Lantern. Not really covering those because I just wanted to focus on the big three, and they're the ones that have the volume 1's out of the series. But delve into those other ones too because as a Marvel guy, I think DC's kind of eating Marvel's lunch with this Absolute line. They're really doing a lot for it. These are all ongoing series. I believe they're around like issue 13, issue 12, with Absolute Batman being like one issue more than the other two because it came out first. But I will definitely make another video for volume 2 when that comes out, and it won't be as late as this one is, like kind of to the party. So with that, I'm gonna rank them now against each other, which is not that hard to do. I mean, there's only 3 of them, but so rank number 3. I'm going to give to. Sorry. Absolute Superman. Not that this is bad, but like in comparison to the other two, I would have to put this at number 3. But I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed it. You can see there too his cape and gauntlets and stuff. I really enjoyed it. I love the world building, the Peacemaker Corps, like army. The building up of who the big bad is, which spoiler alert, I think is gonna be Brainiac. But the build up and story building in this with the different dynamics and the relationships of Superman, yeah, I'd give this one a 7 out of 10 for sure. Not much more to say than that. Really enjoyed it. There has to be a number 3, so I give it a Superman. Number 2. Now this one I had very hard time, surprisingly, to pick because I'm not a really big fan of one of these last 2 heroes. But it surprised me that I had such a hard time to pick who I wanted to be number 2 and number 1. But at the end of the day, I have to go with Absolute Wonder Woman. Number 2, give this an 8 out of 10. I mean, the characterization of Diana in this is so good. The magic. The magic in this, outstanding. Greek mythology, love it. Give Wonder Woman 8 out of 10. So with that, you can all guess what number 1 is. That would be Absolute Batman. I'm a Batman lackey. Like, I love Batman so much. I love the mystery aspects of it, detective work, the rogues gallery is just unbeatable. The new takes on the characters, the violence, the darkness of it, just so peak. Love just freaking yoked Batman. Love it. The bigger, the better. Love his new gadgets, everything about it. I give Absolute Batman 9 out of 10. You know, like I said earlier, jump on the hype train. It's worth it. You can grab the volume 1 so you don't have to go out and find 1 through 6 because unless you're getting like reprints, the getting issue 1 is a little bit expensive now for Absolute Batman, and probably for the other two as well. So, excuse me, you can get the volume 1s and start there and then pick up after. I highly recommend. So with that, I want to thank you for tuning into the video and bearing with me. This is going to get better as time goes. I'm kind of a noob still, so it's a lot harder than it looks to just stare at a camera and talk to yourself. But like I said before, we learning. If you got any other ideas of what you want me to cover in the future, you can put it in the comment section below. I do have ideas of different things that I'm going to be doing. It's not going to be all like this. I'm going to have some kind of like card pack rippings. There's going to be more comic content. Might do some movie and show reviews as well. Um, you know, dabble in some other different types of things, maybe even do a little podcast in the future. So if you like what you've seen so far, if you want to support a brand new channel, then please leave a like, leave a comment. Comment if you think that my ranking of them is different in your eyes. I'd love to know which one you guys would place as 3, 2, 1. And consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate that. So, with that all being said, wise words of Master Yoda, much to learn you still have, even about yourself. Okami Archives logging off. Peace. How do I stop recording? Oh, the button that says stop recording.